Hello my friends, let's discuss a startup, one of them. So this rubric is called What's Wrong with a Startup? And here I want to discuss particularly interesting ones as regard their go-to-market strategy. Effectively, these are startups that fail to do what's right in terms of effectiveness. Sometimes it's even scam. Why it's important and why it's interesting? Because we can learn from others' mistakes. If you're in this business, if you want to go effective go-to-market moves, so then make sure you subscribe. So for the first one, for this rubric is called ElicitPlant. It's a French agri-tech startup that works in the industry of effective farming. Now, this one is counterintuitive because effectively there's lots of accolades, lots of awards, and among others, it has been listed on the best 120 startups of France. How is it called? It's called French Tech Next 120, the best ones of the year 2025, and this one of them. Also on the website it lists all kinds of badges, startups of the year by the version of and so on. What this company does? What's wrong with this startup? Effectively, it's not even a startup. This one builds on the idea that there's a huge lack of water in France or in Europe overall, and what it does is produces kind of fertilizer or a mix for the plants, which reduces the consumption of water by 20%. So effectively, this is a huge it builds on a huge green agenda and says, as always, we are revolutionizing the industry on the intersection of green ecology and technology. It's a huge move, recipe of success. But if you look attentively on their website, what exactly they do, it's just one thing that catches attention. They have three products that are called innovation products. In fact, the first one listed on the website is called Best A by Bayer, by German manufacturer. And the problem is that Bayer themselves, a huge manufacturer, they doesn't call themselves startups, but effectively they do the same. Or there's ElicitPlant is just a distributor of this Bayer products, and this is not even, it doesn't have any connection to startup activity. There's other two. So the first one is produced by the brand name of the manufacturer, and the other one's kind of white labeled. I believe these are white labeled. So effectively, we have the company that calls himself startup, effectively is a distributor of Bayer product and two white labels by their own names, and then a huge bus, huge startup bus. What I think this bus is necessary. Why all the stuff? What I suspect here is that effectively it's for a reason. From a normal commercial logic, it looks like a total scam. If you produce a crop protection solution, which is a great business, you just go and distribute them. Why on earth do you need this Startup of the Year badge all over the website? There's a simple answer to this question. First, to lower the entry barrier to partnership with actual producers. So my point is that this company is doing nothing than just connecting three areas. First is actual producers. Second is cooperatives, so large terrain. And third is money or funds. So this one stands in between, and for the producers, they say, okay, we will give you access to terrain, access to actual farmers who can real test your producers. This is what they hide under the name as I believe, this is my personal opinion, under the name of a platform is catch-all word. You can call anything a platform. It's a huge kind of signifier. It's a huge trick by all startup companies. They say we're a platform, it means nothing. And in this respect, they need this startup badge or startup status in order to lower the barrier or threshold of partnership with actual producers to whom they provide field level testing and early reporting. If it is the case, they obviously have a language problem. I call this one of the perils or great perils of go-to-market stage. And this is in the scientific language, misaligned vocabulary or misaligned position, misaligned language. But even in this case, they have a air of impersonator, or a company that acts like it is something else, because there's no actual bridge between the language employed and the actual commercial activity, what they name and what they sell. No actual connection. Because I'll give you a real test here. If there was a bootstrap company or companies working on their own money, would they ever pursue the same strategy? Similar go-to-market strategy? I seriously doubt so. My claim is that this green startup follows a logic of Predator on several levels. First, it says, this is your soil, your water, I can help you exploit these resources better. On the general scale is a logic of Predator. We don't produce more, we just have to exploit better. This is very macro level, but still is a logic of a small pie, let's divide it better. On the second level, this is a level of negotiation with the customer where how the power is distributed between the company, startup company, and the customer. On this level, I can see the skew of power to the vendor, to the company, by manufacturing or pretending a startup identity to kind of neatly penetrate and lower the barriers of entry to large chemical producers by offering them a testing ground, to cooperatives by offering them a good chance of crop growth, and funding like venture capitalists or state funds, the general public also, by parasiting on a green agenda. If you think this guy is telling something high, this is probably wrong. Apply a test of bootstrap company. Will a bootstrap companies working on their own money, follow the same logic or do the same go-to-market strategy? If not, it's done for a reason, and the reason is predator attitude, which leaves an open question of the waste the company leaves behind through its go-to-market strategy. Thank you for watching. If you have a question or would like your company to be stress tested in a private mode, if you want to have your audit of go-to-market strategy, please email me. You can find my contacts here or on my website called Nerdist. Thanks, bye.